This is why studying feels impossible for you. Not because you are stupid, not because you are lazy, not because you lack potential, but because your mind has been quietly sabotaged for years, and no one ever warned you. You sit down to study. The book is open, the screen is on, time is available. Yet your brain feels heavy, foggy, restless. 5 minutes in, and you want to escape. 10 minutes in, and your phone starts calling you. 20 minutes in, and suddenly you're too tired to continue. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow comes, and the same thing happens again. You start believing something is wrong with you. Here's the truth most people never hear. Studying doesn't feel impossible because the work is hard. It feels impossible because your mind is overstimulated, undertrained, and emotionally hijacked. Your brain is addicted, not to drugs, not to alcohol, but to constant dopamine, notifications, short videos, fast content, instant rewards. Your brain has been trained to expect pleasure every few seconds. So when you sit down to study something slow, silent, unrewarding, your mind panics. It feels pain, and the brain avoids pain at all costs. That discomfort you feel while studying, that urge to quit, that's not laziness. That's withdrawal. Your brain is screaming, where's the reward? And when it doesn't get it, it rebels. This is why you can scroll for 3 hours without getting tired. But reading 10 pages exhausts you. This is why you can binge watch a series at 2x speed, but can't focus on a single paragraph. Your mind is not weak. It's spoiled. And spoiled minds hate discipline. But there's something deeper. Studying forces you to face yourself. Silence. Stillness. Effort. No distractions. No escape. And in that silence, uncomfortable thoughts appear. Doubt. Fear. Pressure. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if all this effort is pointless? So instead of confronting those thoughts, your brain chooses the easy way out. Distraction. Because distraction is painless. Effort is not. Most people don't avoid studying because they can't do it. They avoid it because studying exposes their insecurity. When you don't try, you can say, I could have done better. But when you try and fail, there's nowhere to hide. So your mind protects your ego by keeping you unprepared. This is why procrastination feels safe. It gives you an excuse. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you avoid studying, you are training your brain to run from difficulty. And the brain learns fast. Today it avoids studying. Tomorrow it avoids responsibility. Later it avoids challenges. Eventually, it avoids life. This is how average lives are created. Not by lack of talent, but by habitual avoidance. You were not born with a short attention span. You trained it. You were not born unmotivated. You conditioned yourself. Every time you chose comfort over effort, you voted for weakness. But here's the part no one tells you. The same brain that learned avoidance can be trained for focus, but it won't be comfortable. Rebuilding focus feels painful because you are undoing years of damage. When you start studying seriously again, your brain will resist. It will lie to you. I'm tired. I'll do it later. This isn't important. I deserve a break. Those thoughts are not truth. They are defense mechanisms. Your brain doesn't want growth. It wants comfort. Growth requires energy. Comfort requires nothing. That's why studying feels impossible. Because studying demands something your brain is no longer used to giving. Sustained effort without immediate reward. And here's another hard truth. Motivation will not save you. Waiting to feel like studying is a trap. You will never feel ready. The people who succeed don't study because they feel motivated. They study because they act before emotion. They don't negotiate with their feelings. They don't ask their mind for permission. They decide and then they move. Discipline is not forcing yourself. Discipline is doing the work, even while your mind complains. You think focused students are special. They're not. They just train their brain to tolerate boredom. They stayed when it was uncomfortable. They didn't quit when their mind screamed. And slowly, their brain adapted. Because the brain always adapts. You adapted it for distraction. You can adapt it for depth. But you must accept one thing first. Studying will feel hard again before it feels easy. The first days will feel unbearable. Your mind will wander. Your body will resist. That's normal. That's detox. Just like muscles burn before they grow, focus burns before it sharpens. Most people quit during this phase. They say, "See, I told you studying isn't for me." No, you quit too early. Focus is built the same way strength is built, through repetition under resistance. You don't need to study longer. You need to study without escape, even if it's just 20 minutes. No phone, no tabs, no music hopping, no excuses. Sit, struggle, stay. Teach your brain that escape is not an option. At first, your mind will rebel, then it will surrender. And one day, something strange will happen. Studying won't feel impossible anymore. It will feel quiet, controlled. And in that quiet, confidence grows. Because every focus session sends a message to your brain. I am in control. That message changes everything. Your self-respect returns. Your clarity improves. Your anxiety decreases. Because anxiety often comes from knowing you're avoiding what you should be doing. You don't hate studying. You hate how studying makes you feel about yourself. Fix the habit and the emotion follows. And remember this, you don't need perfect focus. You need consistent resistance. Even distracted studying is better than avoidance. Even slow progress is better than none. Your future doesn't depend on intelligence. It depends on whether you can sit with discomfort without running. That's the real test. Not exams, not grades, but the ability to stay. Stay when it's boring. Stay when it's hard. Stay when no one is watching. Because the ones who master that, master everything else. Studying isn't impossible. You've just been trained to quit too early. Now it's time to retrain your mind. One session at a time. You want to know the most dangerous lie you've believed? I'll study properly once I fix my motivation. That moment will never come. Motivation is not missing. It's buried under overstimulation, comfort, and excuses. Your brain has learned one rule very clearly. If I wait long enough, the discomfort disappears. Deadlines pass. Consequences get delayed. Someone else helps. Time stretches. So your brain learns. There is no urgency. And without urgency, effort dies. That's why panic studying works for you. Because fear temporarily overrides comfort. But living only on panic makes you weak. Strong minds don't rely on fear. They rely on structure. Right now, your days have no edges. You wake up when you feel like it. You study when you feel guilty enough. You stop when you feel tired. Your brain is in charge. And your brain is not a leader, it's a pleasure seeker. This is why studying feels impossible. Because you gave control to the wrong part of yourself. The mind wants relief. The future needs sacrifice. Those two are enemies. Every time you open your phone instead of your book, you are choosing the present version of you over the future one. And the present version is selfish. It wants comfort now, entertainment now, relief now. But the future version of you will pay the price. With stress, with regret, with missed opportunities. And deep down, you know this. That's why procrastination hurts. It's not relaxing. It's guilt disguised as comfort. And guilt drains energy faster than work ever could. You say studying makes you tired. No. Avoidance makes you tired. Dragging unfinished tasks in your mind all day exhausts you. That mental weight you feel? That's not work. That's unmade decisions. The moment you decide, truly decide, your energy changes. But decision requires authority. And authority requires rules. Right now, you have none. You negotiate with your mind like it's your equal. I'll study after this video. Just 5 more minutes. Tomorrow, I'll be serious. You don't negotiate with weakness. You dominate it. The people who study consistently are not smarter. They're just less emotional. They don't care how studying feels. They care what not studying costs. You think discipline is harsh. It's not. Lack of discipline is harsher. Discipline hurts now. Regret. hurts forever. And here's something no one warns you about. The longer you avoid studying, the harder it becomes to start. Not because the material gets harder, but because your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who works hard. You start calling yourself lazy, unfocused, bad at studying. And once an identity forms, behavior follows. You don't act lazy because you are lazy. You act lazy because you believe you are. That belief is poison, and it was built slowly. One skipped session at a time. One excuse at a time. One, I'll do it later, at a time. But identity can be rewritten, not with motivation, with evidence. Every time you sit down and study even badly, you prove the old identity wrong. Your brain notices actions, not words. You don't need confidence. You need proof. Proof comes from showing up when you don't want to. That's why the first 10 minutes matter more than the next 2 hours. Starting is the real battle. Once you start, resistance drops. But starting requires force, and force feels uncomfortable.